2012 Tucson Festival of Books. Tonight is the author's table dinner, and it's going to be a wonderful event.
Good evening. My name is David Fitzsimmons. I'm the cartoonist of the Arizona Daily Star, and I'm going to kick things off. Yeah, you can applaud. I want you to applaud the committee who came up with a wacky idea for these napkin holders. All I can say is, what the? But they work great with these binoculars, so I can see the people in the back of the room. Hello, back of the room!
We're in front. Somehow we're better. They knew he was a cop.
Welcome to the author's table dinner, and the fourth largest book festival in the United States of America. All right, I can read this crowd. You're impressed by size. Good. And this is only the fourth year. You better save your applause because we're going to be thanking 150,000 people tonight. Kidding. More than 100,000 people will be here tomorrow. Yeah, fighting over the free parking at the Tyndall Garage. Why do so many show up? I'll tell you why, because of the incredible job these folks here tonight do, bringing in outstanding exhibitors, entertainers, and of course, incredible authors, many of them sober. Special welcome to our previous keynote speaker, J.A. Jantz, as well as Richard Russo and Susan Casey, 3 University of Arizona Wildcat alums. By the way, those of you who are taping the U of A basketball game, we will be announcing the score out of order for our own amusement. First, let's note some notables who are with us tonight. First, in attendance tonight, in that corner of the room, please welcome Congressman Raul Grijalva. Our newly elected mayor of the city of Tucson, the Honorable Jonathan Rothschild. Who, by the way, has been a participating author in the poetry venue. Also, please welcome South Tucson Mayor Jennifer Ekstrom. And from the District 8 Congressional Office, please welcome Pam Simon. All right, I'm just curious, by a show of hands. Yeah, put down your forks. How many writers here tonight? Whoa, it's pretty impressive. All right. How many readers? All right. How many editors? Oh, okay, I'll speak slower. I'd like to mention a few of the authors who are here tonight. First, T.C. Boyle is here with us. Yay, T.C. His book, When the Killing's Done, which I think is a cookbook. Carl Zimmer, who wrote Evolution, The Triumph of an Idea. Tell our legislature. I won't mention them much, but you know, the Arizona legislature at one time, one of the members wanted to permit guns inside the legislature itself, which I thought was a fine idea because I believe in natural selection. Also with us, Philip Caputo, who wrote Rumors of War, has a new book called Crossers. Yeah, I am an ooey-gooey fan of some of these authors, like Mr. Caputo, indeed. You know, he and I share something in common. He won a Pulitzer in 1972, and I'm in the same room with him. Also with us tonight, a gifted artist, a local artist here in Tucson, children's book author, Chris Gall. Yeah, he wrote a book. He wrote a book about the #1 career choice of novelists, substitute teacher. Also, man, I hope he's here tonight. Are you here tonight, Elmore Leonard? Are you here? Elmore Leonard. What a tough guy, I love him. He got into a fist fight with our governor. He got off the plane at the airport, she wagged her finger in the wrong face. Also with us tonight, Jack Gantos, who wrote Jack Adrift, 4th grade without a clue. My kids love that book, I love that book, 4th grade, best 3 years of my life. Deborah Bloom, who wrote Love at Goon Park, The Science of Affection. She also wrote my ex-wife's favorite book, The Poisoner's Handbook. Rick Perlstein's here tonight, who wrote Before the Storm, a history of the Goldwater campaign, which apparently is a textbook for the Romney campaign. Ooh. Ooh. Rick also wrote a great book called Nixon Land. I recommend it to you. It's about a theme park in Whittier, California. The gates are locked. You have to break in. Jane Moss, who wrote Mad Women, a woman's perspective on Madison Avenue in the 60s, should be a bestseller, because I'm convinced half the people who pick it up will think Mad Women is about female voters in 2012. I am sorry that our governor's not here. You know, she's an author. She wrote a book called Scorpions for Breakfast. It's a new genre called Tea Party Romance. And my good friend Luis Urrea is here. His latest book, Queen of America. What is that, the life story of Oprah Winfrey? What is it? Okay, you'll explain it to us later. Tonight's banquet is a thank you festival. We are going to be thanking everybody. You know the drill. We try to mention everybody's name because if we don't, we're afraid you're going to be pissed off. And we're going to try to wrap this up by 9 o'clock, and we have a little secret here. I happen to have a taser. So this is going to move faster than the governor's book in a clearance bin. Now see up here on the stage to my right, we have an empty chair. We're going to have an actor who's going to be reading to himself silently in that chair. That's for those of you who've never been to Arizona before and know only what you hear on the news about us. Yes, we read. I have a question for you. Is this a gorgeous university campus? Yes. The University of Arizona campus is the perfect setting for this event. And here to greet us tonight, and I hope you're ready and walking this way toward the stage, I'll introduce you slowly, is University of Arizona Vice President of Student Affairs. Please welcome Dr. Melissa Vito.
Wow. How many of you were here in 2009? Okay, so let's just really, maybe a third of you. This is an event that in 3 years, this is our 4th year, is the 4th largest book festival in the country. Is that amazing? You'll hear from all the volunteers. But I have to tell you, on behalf of the University of Arizona, there are very few things that we do in this community that we're prouder of than the Tucson Festival of Books. This is an event that brings out the best in everyone who's a part of it. And it represents the best of our community, the best of the university. We open our doors, you get free parking, you can go to Pinkberry, I mean, what else is there? And it's what we're about. We're about ideas, thought, research, creativity, the opportunity to sort of talk about things. And I was thinking about this, actually, as I was checking my iPhone for some insignificant moment, and I looked over and realized I wasn't the only one doing that. And in a time when it feels like we're all reading our iPhones, checking our iPads, and sort of disconnected in a connected way, this is the kind of event that brings us back to our humanity. And we get to actually talk to authors, we get to feel a book, and for me, as part of the university, there's nothing that makes me prouder than to be able to be a key partner and a host to this event. So on behalf of the University of Arizona, thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm so excited to see all of you over the next few days, and I'm very thrilled to be able to introduce a contingent from Up With People. So we're excited to have them performing a special rendition for the festival. They'll be back on campus March 16th for an evening entitled Arizona is Up With People. And I happen to know we have a few Up With People alums in the audience who are probably sitting a little taller as we get ready to listen to this. So thank you. Let's listen to Up With People. And thank you very much. Have a great event.
Oh, no, it was real. No.
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Lanham, and I am originally from Maine. We are Up With People. Up With People has existed for over 45 years, and we are very, very happy to say that we originated right here in Tucson, Arizona. Currently, we have 120 young individuals from 22 different countries doing community service all over the greater Tucson area, and we couldn't be more happy about that. We'd like to share a couple songs with you, but first, what we'd like to do is cordially invite you to a very memorable event that we are going to be having 1 week from tonight, right here in this very grand ballroom. Up With People's vast history has expanded nations upon nations, and we are going to be celebrating that with a once-in-a-lifetime show next Friday, right here at 6 p.m. It is a dinner, gala, show event. It is a fundraising event for the University of Arizona Libraries to induct our living archives, the history of Up With People, into their special collections exhibit right here at the new libraries with the University of Arizona. Please come out next week and attend that with us. We're going to be having the current cast, folkloric dance tribe from Sonora, countless alumni, and it is a professionally produced gala dinner event, and we hope to see you there. For more information, please visit our website, upwithpeopleua.org. And without further ado, we'd like to sing one of our most famous songs that we love and adore, Where the Roads Come Together. Thank you.
None of us are born the same. We don't know why. It's the way we came. Every heart beats a little differently. Each soul is free to find its way, like a river that winds its way to the sea. For life is a journey, and there are many roads beneath the sky, and there are many good people who don't see eye to eye.
Not everyone can sing your tune from where he stands. There's another view.
With every turn we are learning more, and perhaps we'll find that the walls we build are only in the mind. There are many roads to go, and they go by many names. They don't all go the same way, but they get there just the same. And I have a feeling that we'll meet someday, where roads come together.
Thank you again very much for having us with you tonight. We hope you have a wonderful evening. Again, next Friday, 6 p.m. right here in the Grand Ballroom, our Up With People Gala event to induct our living archives in the special collections right here at the University of Arizona Libraries. We hope to see you there. And now we'd like to end our portion of the evening with a song you might find a little familiar.
Well, it was early just this morning as I was walking down the street. A postman and a baker and a policeman I didn't meet. Tonight I hear in Tucson behind every single door. I recognize people I never noticed before.
Let's hear it one more time for the cast of Glee on Ritalin. Up with people! They are so perky. They're as perky as Hunter Thompson. Up with People. They used to be located here in Tucson, but they moved to Colorado several years ago, just to stay one step ahead of the law. You know, maybe if we showed them a little more love, they might move back. Oh, come on. You may not know this, but we have a Festival Founders Committee. These folks found the festival 4 years ago and decided to stay. Let me digress here. 1,500 volunteers make this event happen. Tonight we'll be thanking all 1,500 of them one by one. To start this roll call, I would like to introduce, she's out there. I would like to introduce Brenda Viner and Frank Farias, members of the Festival's Founders Committee. Brother!
Good evening. Tonight's author table dinner continues to be one of the most incredible opportunities we get before a large group of people like you. And it also continues to create great vibes in our community. And what a terrific way to start the festival. We think that this is the world's best festival of books. I want to take a few minutes to thank, I'd like to take a few minutes to thank our entire student union, catering, and event service team for the incredible job that they do every year in providing these services. Thank you. Sarah Cohen and Jen O'Brien have been responsible for putting this event together, and it is an incredible event indeed. The author table dinner Sarah and Jane, please stand and take a well-deserved bow. This year's event will take well over 1,500 volunteers to bring the festival to life. The festival steering committee does an incredible job working every month throughout the entire year, putting this event together and providing not only the planning but leading the committees. As I call your name, please stand and please hold the applause until everybody's called. The author committee, Nancy Latibor and Eileen Woodham. Author pavilion, Michael Milestone and Rhonda Hoffman. Children's committee, Dr. Ann Parker. Community outreach committee, Barbara Goldsberg and Sandy Rothschild. Entertainment, Gina Macaluso and Amber Matheson. Exhibitors, Rick and Jane Kleiner. Food venue, Shelby and Randy Collier. Hospitality, Steve and Holly Schisner. Marketing, Daryl Durham and Elizabeth Campbell. Moderator, Frank Macia. And operations, Chris Kopek. Please give him a run. Please give him a strong round of applause. Thank you.
Okay, and also helping us from Science City is Daphne Gilman. Site Planning, Rick Engineering. Sponsors, Jim Lubinsky. Authors Table, Sarah Cohen and Jan O'Brien. UA Bookstores, Debbie Shively. UA Student Union, Larry Jones. Volunteers, they have compiled 1,700 people to help us this weekend. Peggy DeWald and Bimmy Hubner. Website database and guide, John Bolton, Debbie Kornmiller, and Rob Weisner, all from the Arizona Daily Star. Director of Communication and Development, Naomi Wetzel McCoy. Founders Committee members, Bruce Beach, John Humanek, and Bill Viner. Okay.
So when the Tucson Festival Books was first conceived, we knew we wanted to create a literary event that would make our community shine and at the same time produce a positive impact on literacy and education issues in southern Arizona. 3 out of 4 fourth graders in Tucson read below the grade average. And Arizona has one of the highest high school dropout rates in the country. 1 out of 5 adults are functionally illiterate. Together, we can make a difference.
Tonight, we would like to recognize the Pima County Public Library for its outstanding service to the festival in our community. I'd like to invite Helene Woodhams, Pima County's literary arts librarian and the co-chair of the author committee, to join me up here right now. The 27 library branches and their staff enrich the lives of Tucsonans every day by giving us opportunities to learn, interact, and grow. The library serves as a resource and advocate for youth, as an active partner in community building, and as a motivator of Tucson's skilled workforce. Through its programs, the library nurtures and celebrates our diverse cultural heritage, supports the arts in all forms, and advances 100% literacy for the residents of Pima County. 4 members of the library staff are on the steering committee, plus numerous other library staff have played integral roles in advancing the festival. We could not have done this without the library staff and their involvement with us, and we could not have been successful. Helene, please accept this small token of appreciation from the festival to the library. Which is not unusual.
Man, this dinner's good. How's the sound now? A little bit better? Because if it isn't, I'm going to have to mime the rest of the program. And people halfway through the room will have to turn around and describe it to the people in the back. And I just talked to R.L. Stein and his wife. They flew all the way from New York City. They aren't in the mood to do that. So I'll try to speak loudly. America's Got Talent is a popular reality series on NBC with millions of viewers. None of you watch it because you read or you watch PBS. Anyway, America's Got Talent features singers, dancers, magicians, comedians, and novelty acts of all ages competing for $1 million and a headline act in Las Vegas. One of them is here with us tonight. From thousands of contestants, the Kinetic King. Yes, the Kinetic King. An aristocrat, a member of royalty. The Kinetic King is here in our republic. And he was one of the semi-finalists in last year's competition. When I ordered nachos at Applebee's for lunch today, the waiter said, "Awesome." I said, "No, man, the fries aren't awesome. The Kinetic King is awesome. Please show the clip."
I'm Tim Fort, and in all modesty, I'm known as the Kinetic King, the greatest purveyor of chain reaction gadgets in this and the 17 known universes. I create all sorts of chain reaction gadgets that go way beyond your grandma's domino tumbling. This time around, I'd say it's a little more over the top than my last gadget that I made. You know, Fun doesn't come cheap. This is going to go wild.
Spectacular!
Oh, wow! Wow. I love that.
Wow! Admit it, ladies. He wears a safety helmet. He's good with sticks. And he's vulnerable. You're all in love with him. I understand. Why? Because he's the Kinetic King. Please say hello to Tim Fort. Please stand, Tim. Where are you, man? The Kinetic King! Every book festival needs a Napoleon Dynamite. You are it. No, it's wonderful. You gotta see it to believe it. Somebody crossed Jimmy Neutron with the devil. It's the Kinetic King. In conjunction with the festival's Science City, the Kinetic King will be creating and exploding one of his chain reaction gadgets in Bear Down Gym on Saturday and Sunday at 11:15. I'm gonna be there. Should be fun if the UN inspectors don't muck things up. Let's hear it for the Kinetic King again. Thanks for coming out here and being with us, dude. You know, I think it's an interesting side feature to the Kinetic King. He is writing a book about time travel. Some here in Arizona are big fans of time travel. Sheriff Joe Arpaio in Phoenix is a big fan of time travel. Last week, he held a press conference about the findings of his investigation into the president's birth certificate and revealed his insights into something called Kenyan time travel voodoo. Unfortunately, the author of this particular investigation will not be here with his book at the book festival. You guessed it, abducted by aliens. Now, like a little green man from Mars, you get to take home something tonight as well from Arizona. One of the lucky people at your table has the program with the little sticker on it. Go ahead, look for it. Go ahead, look for it. That's it. Be industrious. That lucky person gets to keep the book at the center of your table. Authors, be sure and sign the book. Instruction number, oh, there's excitement afoot. Ooh. Secondly, if you have a star in your program, you get to take home the centerpiece after the dinner. Oh. Now, if you look under your seat and you find an orange sticker, you get to take home the author. Time to eat dinner. We'll be back in about 25 minutes. See you soon. Oh man, that 25 minutes just flew by. Okay, it was 12. I'm in a hurry. Hey, was that a good meal? Yeah? Yeah, come on. I like mine. I dove on that meal like a javelina working a Sun City dumpster in the moonlight. As you are all aware, the University of Arizona is a founding partner and our host So, what did you think of the catering? Thank you for that positive reinforcement. By the way, we're very proud of the fact the University of Arizona has a new president coming our way, Ann Weaver Hart, who starts July 1st. That gives her a month or more to read the news out of the legislature and ask herself, what the hell was I thinking? I want to encourage out-of-town visitors to please check out our legislature's meetings in your hotel room. They are broadcast on cable. They include closed captioning for those of you who can't believe what the hell you're hearing. I've got to answer these questions because I've been asked by a couple of the authors I've met about Arizona. We are not all Daffy. I'm building a Ramada at my house. I went to the Ace Hardware and I asked the young man in the orange apron, I said, hey buddy, I'm looking for some bolts, you know, you got any, where are your wing nuts? He looked at me and he said, they're all in Phoenix, you voted for them. And that's why TFOB is important to me. This is the anti-wingnut contingent, people who read. Even including this fine young man here, who is still on the table of contents. It's because he's an undergrad here at the U of A. Good luck, son. Fine job. I want you to know that TFOB donates 100% of its proceeds to promote literacy in Southern Arizona. Oh yeah, you're fans of literacy. Take a courageous stand. Woohoo! No, the funds have been well spent and paid for the A on A Mountain to start. A little story for you. This relates to our keynote speaker. This is a story about books. Sinclair Lewis, H.L. Mencken, and Mark Twain would love this story. Jon Stewart calls Arizona the meth lab for democracy, and here is why. Last year, the state of Arizona moved to shut down the Mexican-American Studies program here at our local school district. Yeah, it's because the state superintendent of schools, when he was a child, I guess was frightened by mariachis. I don't know. They claimed the contents, and you all know what content is. It's that stuff printed with ink on paper you find in things called books. They claimed the content promoted racial resentment. So they decided to eliminate the program, which I thought was a great way to show those amateur teachers how to really promote racial resentment. You see, the classes were revolutionary. That's what was so frightening. They were revolutionary because too many Latino kids were graduating thanks to the program. Arizona is an amazing place. I love this state, I'm proud of it. On some days we can have the highest temperatures and the lowest temperatures in America. The same goes for IQs. The average Arizonan loves literature, loves learning, and loves books, and fears no idea. I mean, half of us, we love books so much, half of us in this room have the film crew from Hoarders outside of our house, just waiting for us to come outside and interview us. Well, here's the interesting news. The school district, intimidated by the state, pulled the books that were part of the curriculum out of the classrooms. Pretty exciting stuff, I think, to be reminded that books can be terrifying things. So those of you who are writers, I love you, because you all engage in a craft that frightens some people. The diversity here tonight in this room reminds us we're better than that. We're a people who fears no idea. Among the books, see where I'm pointing? Among the books was a terrifying, seditious, anti-American, inflammatory, inciting, revolutionary, treasonous screed written by our keynote speaker, Luis Urrea. Admit it, you're all jealous, aren't you? Yeah. There's a book called The Devil's Highway, correct? Great book. I thought The Devil's Highway was a term used by Rick Santorum to describe an unsavory act, but I was wrong. It's a magnificent account, a nonfiction account of Mexican immigrants lost in the Arizona desert. So he's going to come up here later. When he does, picture him in a beret with a Che Guevara beard. Don't get me wrong, I'll say it again. Arizonans love books. Thanks to each and every author who made the journey to be with us. I want you to know our U of A library has a magnificent book collection, a rare book collection. They have, in fact, the smallest book in Arizona, The Accomplishments of Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Great book. A little bit more for you to talk about when you get home to your loved ones from Arizona. Our legislature heard that Arizona ranked near the bottom for education spending and took action. And you know what they decided that students need in their classrooms in our state? They need guns and they need Bibles. I write a satire column. I have the easiest job in the country. The satire writes itself. Now here's the funny part. Here's the point of this. A lawmaker from north of the Gila decided our biggest problem is cursing public school teachers. I'm serious. I couldn't make this stuff up. She put up a law that would prohibit any PG-13 content in the classroom. Now I thought that would conflict with the aforementioned law, saying you can keep your guns, but I frankly believe the Bible is definitely R-rated and has got to go. Too much begetting. The genocide is fine, but the begetting's got to go. So Luis's fine book will probably be joined in the school storage locker by Huck Finn, Cuckoo's Nest, Catcher in the Rye, and even the Good Book. But alas, the bill failed. So there is wisdom in this state. But books are inflammatory things. Look at this young man here. Our stage reader should be reading Barbecue Mitts. He could spontaneously combust. Who knows what's in that book? Tomorrow you will see an Arizona that is decent and wise and loves books. So if you're a first-timer, welcome to our beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, diverse, and wonderful state. I want you to know that the revenues do go to good causes. I want to repeat that theme. For one thing, we're going to find this reader a good home where he can read in a private setting. The money goes to groups such as the Literacy for Life Coalition and Reading Seed. It's a gardening thing. The Tucson Festival of Books donates over 150 grand to various organizations, including the Bob Barker Abused Writers Refuge for unpublished authors and feral editors. Tonight, I would like to move on quickly and introduce, because they finished their meals and they're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the click and clack of tonight's event, the Book Talk Brothers. As they make their way to the stage, please make them feel welcome, Bruce Beach and John Humanick.
Saying to Bruce, here we are again. If you've not been to the festival, it's hard to describe what 1,500 volunteers, more than 400 authors, 300 presentations, 35 venues, and more than 250 exhibitors, 4 entertainment stages, a huge children's area, and much, much more looks like assembled together. It's a memorable image for sure. 10 acres of nonstop literary entertainment. From the author presentations to the Ferguson Electrolux culinary stage to the Lindley Lopez Literary Circus to the giant crossword puzzles. That's one from Merle. There he is, Merle Regal. Literature and all forms of literacy are made fun and accessible. And the best part, it's all for a great cause, and it's free, even the parking. Bruce?
This year, we have the help of the College of Science and the Bio5 Institute to expand the Helios Education Foundation Science City on the mall east of Cherry. You can learn about the body, the brain, optics, space and light, and much, much more. It is science for the common man. The Flandreau Planetarium, the Mirror Lab, the Physics Carbon Dating Lab, and the Optics Museum will all be open to the public. The Western Parks Pavilion will showcase over 15 national parks, and the Tohono O'odham will have author presentations and demonstrations indigenous to their culture. There will be plenty of hands-on activities to open our minds and encourage us to read.
And Bruce, as Brenda said, it's always been our goal to promote literature, improve literacy, and sustain this event for many, many years to come. We could not do this without our sponsors. The University of Arizona is the ultimate partner, and it does not hurt that the UA bookstore knows everything about books. Thank you for hosting this event, opening up the campus, and encouraging your staff to play an integral role in the success of the festival. And of course, if you're paying attention, go Cats!
I think we're down by 5. The Arizona Daily Star is not only a great media partner, but their talented team has spent countless hours creating the festival database, updating the website, putting together the program insert that's in your bags, and hosting their own venue on the mall. They have even created updated apps for the iPhone and the Droid, which you can download right now.
And the University of Arizona Medical Center is our presenting sponsor and has been on board since the beginning. They are dedicated to improving our community, and their support has made it possible for the Tucson Festival of Books to become one of the outstanding book events in our country.
And we again like to thank the Pima County Public Library for their incredible staff, Tucson Medical Center, the Helios Education Foundation, Diamond Children's, the U of A Bookstore, Ferguson's Electrolux, the Stocker Foundation, McDonald's, Western National Parks, Bookman's Entertainment Exchange, and Pepper Viner Homes.
And there are more. Beach Fleshman, Clear Channel Radio, Madden Media, Literacy for Life, Raytheon, Good News Radio, Arizona Party Rentals, Arizona Public Media, and all the other sponsors that have contributed to this great festival. The sponsors have enabled us to not only put on the festival, but allow us to give back. Are you ready for this? Give back $500,000 to the literacy organizations in our community. Let's give them a big hand. I always like that part, Bruce, when we do this. Well, I'd like to introduce now, to move us along, the chairman of the Tucson Festival of Books, Bill Viner. And just to comment on Bill Viner, we work on this festival year-round, all the committee members, and we meet in meetings every month. And I tell the story that we worked an entire year before we ever put on our first festival. And it's a tribute to the leadership, the vision, and the good thinking and guidance of our chairman, Bill Viner.
Good evening. Authors help to explain our world or move us away from it, open doors to fantastic new cultures and experiences, spook us into leaving the lights on, make us laugh out loud, and often the stories seem to mimic our own lives. Tonight we honor and acknowledge the writers participating in the Tucson Festival of Books. They are the ones who bring words and imagination to life. From R.L. Stine to Alice Hoffman to John Sanford to Mary Russell to Thomas Sheridan, we are awed by the passion, talent, and achievement. Their wit, thoughts, and ideas are a wonderful gift to all of us. For those authors that are returning to the festival, we sincerely appreciate your support. And to you newcomers, we hope this is the first of many visits to Tucson and the festival. Last year, the Tucson Festival of Books established the Founders Award. The award honors literary achievement that has captivated our imagination and whose body of work will be an inspiration to future generations of readers, writers, and book lovers. Tonight we honor two distinguished literary partners. What an incredible contribution to literature. Diana Osana and Larry McMurtry have over 40 books to their combined credit, including The Last Picture Show, Pulitzer Prize winner Lonesome Dove, Pretty Boy Floyd, Zeke and Ned, Terms of Endearment, and Reno Ranch. Many of their books have been adapted to the screen, including HUD and Terms of Endearment. They adapted the short story, Brokeback Mountain, into a feature script for which they won the Best Adapted Screenplay Oscar in 2006. They're currently working on 2 feature-length screenplays for director Ridley Scott, as well as an hour-long pilot script entitled Texas. Larry and Diana are passionate about their work and humble about their accomplishments.
I only consider that the books are mine while I'm writing them. The second that I finish, they become yours, or they become America's.
But I don't want to leave.
Some wealthy boy.
Why can't I just stay here and go to college in Wichita Falls?
Because everything is flat and empty here.
There's a law against killing buzzards.
Well, I always say the law was meant to be interpreted in a lenient manner. And that's what I try to do. Sometimes I lean to one side of it, sometimes I lean to the other.
One of the pleasures of being a novelist is the capacity to go backward and forward in time and see your characters and visit them at different times of their lives.
Screenplay is complete collaboration. I mean, you have producers who have an idea, they bring it to the writers try to fulfill the vision that the producers have, then the actors come in, the director, and the director changes. It's constantly shifting and changing.
It's very normal. I think what happened with Lonesome Dove, it's an interesting experience to me now as it's gone beyond me and way beyond anything I control. It's become something comparable to the Arthurian legends.
Why not go up to Montana? We're a shade old to start fighting Indians all over again, don't you think?
A testament to the opening of the American West.
I am going to stop!
Fly me to the moon!
One of the reasons I agreed to come to this festival is that it's about writers. In America, writers are, to be quite frank, in Hollywood, writers are considered bottom feeders. You know, they're sort of low on the totem pole. They don't want you on the set. And when it came time, for example, on Brokeback, when we were making our deal with the studio to sell them the script, Larry and I insisted that one of us be a producer on the movie.
Woo-wee! Yeah!
And the Oscar goes to Larry McMurtry, Diana Osana for Brokeback Mountain.
Thank you to the Academy. The duty of art is to send light into the darkness of men's hearts.
I'm going to thank all the booksellers of the world. Remember that Brokeback Mountain was a book before it was a movie, a wonderful culture, which we mustn't lose.
Please welcome these fabulous literary partners, Diana Osana and Larry McMurtry.
Thanks. When Larry and I were called up on stage to accept the Oscar, one of the things I wanted to say, but they wouldn't allow us to because there was a gigantic clock above us ticking off the seconds, and we only got 30 seconds. But I did get to say it back in the press room. In Hollywood, and a lot of people in Hollywood don't even know this, movies derived from Larry's and a little bit from my writing have garnered 34 Oscar nominations and 13 Oscars. And I love it. I always loved when we go into these Hollywood meetings when people just thought of Larry as a Western writer, and then we tell them that he wrote Terms of Endearment. And they're just stunned. Thank you.
Last time I spoke at the University of Arizona was 35 years ago, and I spoke to 22 people. The crowd has kind of gone. Usually when we do these things, we get a doodad of some kind. I don't know if we're going to get a doodad tonight. Many of them are, many of those awards would be lethal if employed as a weapon. I want to just briefly thank my partner, who's been extraordinary for 25, 26 years. I want to mention, since this is a book festival, that I have a third career. I'm not just a screenwriter or a novelist, but I'm also a bookman. And I've created in the little town of Archer City, Texas, a book town. We have about 400,000 books in 4 large buildings. And in some ways, I'm more passionate about my book selling than I am about anything else. But thank you very much.
We do have these little doodads. They're native storytellers, and we hope.
One more time, let's let Larry and Diana know how much we love and appreciate them. And Larry McMurtry, I want you to know I do you a personal favor from time to time. I've spotted you here in town having breakfast at a place called Guinea's, but I don't bug you. But I did notice something that's kind of jarring. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the man who came up with Lonesome Dove eating a croissant. We have a lot of friends here in this room tonight. It's a good evening. I know I have some of my friends from the Casino del Sol. You here, right? I want my grandmother back. It's not funny. They're wicked people. You don't think they're wicked people? You know what's on the books? You told me about the plan earlier. I'm the first to reveal it. An assisted living casino. That's just... I hope that Larry's affection and love of books is contagious. I met my wife thanks to the book festival, and when we married in October, I asked her where she wanted to go for a honeymoon. She's a bookseller. You know what she said? I want to go to Archer, Texas. To which I, a literate man, said, what the hell are you talking about? And I learned about Archer, Texas. I think sometime we'll visit Archer, Texas, but I saw Archer City. Archer City. The old editor kicks in, doesn't it? Yeah, good man. Archer City. Maybe sometime in the future. Oh, by the way, partial score, 19-3. I made it up. Drink more wine responsibly. As John said, the University of Arizona Medical Center has been the festival's presenting sponsor for 4 years. And here with us, the hospital's chief executive officer. Please welcome Karen Malosky. Come on up here, Karen.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here tonight. The University of Arizona Medical Center is honored to be the sponsor for this wonderful community event. I want to start by saying that we're so pleased to have new visitors to Tucson, and many of you being here from Tucson as well. We're just thrilled that you're all here and are going to be part of this great event. It's a special night when you come to something like this and when you're so proud of what Tucson has to offer. Last year when I stood up here to introduce our speaker, was a little different time, but still I am very proud to be from Tucson, live in Tucson, and to be a part of this community. You make us proud to be a part of it, and again, this event is very special. It's special to the medical center in part because of the link to education. Education is key to what we do and part of the mission at the University of Arizona Medical Center. This weekend also is a great opportunity for our families to be together, and I'm grateful to be here tonight with my mother. And it's a nice man, Darlene Felix. And I walked in tonight and I ran into Lupita Maria, who is also here with her mother. So these are nice things to be able to be together as family as well. So, you know, we've talked a number of times tonight about how, what a major book festival this has turned into in such a short period of time. And again, I want to thank you all for being part of that. Last year also, when I was here, I had the pleasure of sitting next to our keynote speaker. And I don't know about you, but what a beautiful name he has. And so I'm very self-conscious of being able to say his beautiful name. But I have the pleasure of introducing our keynote tonight, and his name is Luis Alberto Rio. I want to do better with those R's. He is a return visitor to our festival, as I mentioned, and is one of our crowd favorites. He's a Mexican-American poet and writer. He lives in the Chicago suburbs and teaches creative writing at the University of Illinois at the University of Illinois at Chicago. His books include the highly acclaimed The Devil's Highway, which I went and bought. My mother and I went shopping. He also authored 2 heavily researched historical novels, The Hummingbird's Daughter and his new novel, Queen of America. Both of these books follow his great aunt, Teresa Urrea, who is known as the Saint of Cabora and also as the Mexican Joan of Arc. When he's not writing novels, Luis has been a film extra, a cartoonist, a columnist, an editor, and a relief worker in Tijuana. Some of his great loves include science fiction, poetry, music, and his wife, Cindy. She is lovely. I've got to visit with her a number of times now. So it's now my pleasure to turn over the microphone to Luis.
Buenas tardes, Tucson, Arizona. Tijuana in the house. Before I speak, I just want to thank this incredible book festival and the Viners and Tucson. I do this a lot, and I've got to tell you, this may be the 4th largest, but it's the #1 best in the country. It's true. So I thought before I got into this, I would try to answer the question that's probably burning in all your minds right now. Like your #1 literary question, which is, why do I look Irish? So let's begin there. This is why I look Irish. My family's from Sinaloa, south of Mazatlan. You spring breakers probably been down there, and cruise passengers. They're from a little town called Rosario, Sinaloa. And my grandma from Rosario, Sinaloa, my father's mother, was named Guadalupe Murray. So, red-headed, blue-eyed Irish lass. My uncle, by the way, is named Carlos Hubbard, so it's a little tradition. I just wanted to tell you a couple of things. I want to watch the clock because I get preaching and the Spirit comes on me and I'll go too long. So I have 20 minutes. And people were giving shout-outs. I want to say hi to Nuestras Raíces in the back, okay? So I have this relationship with Arizona I wanted to tell you about. I was, of course, born in Tijuana, raised in San Diego. And we weren't people with much money, so I didn't ever go anywhere. Though I went to the Grand Canyon when I was a little boy. And I've got to tell you, if you're from San Diego, going to the Grand Canyon is going back east. And my parents took me in a '49 Ford, and we drove to the Grand Canyon, and it blew my mind. And that kind of got me interested in Arizona. But since this is a book festival, you need to know what made me Arizona crazy was good old Ed Abbey. I read Desert Solitaire and went completely out of my mind. And from then on, I knew that I was in service to Arizona. I've tried to come here as much as possible. And somewhere along the line in my writing career, it was time to work on Hummingbird's Daughter and Queen of America. They ended up taking me 26 years to write. In about 1995, I realized I've been working on this book all this time about the Yaqui people and about happenings south of Arizona and happenings in Baja, Arizona. So I thought, well, I better go down there, right? I better go to Tucson and try to learn about the tribe and learn about the area. So I moved down here. And I have to tell you, those of you who are from here will recognize a story like this right away. I wasn't quite ready for this. I got here and I did a little reading at a lamented bookstore, The Coyote's Voice. Anybody remember Coyote's Voice? I've been driving around missing the bookstores, don't you? Let's get some money together and bring back the haunted bookshop, for crying out loud. Coolest bookshop in America. Anyway. So I did this little appearance at the Coyote's Voice, and it got in the paper, you know, and I was in my little spot that I was renting down by the El Minuto Cafe, and the phone rang. I didn't know anybody, but the phone rang, and I answered the phone. I said, you know, hello, and this voice, a woman's voice said, Luis Alberto Urrea. And I said, yeah, that's me. And she said, you don't know me, but I'm your cousin. I said, really? And she said, yes, I'm your cousin, Esperanza Urrea. So I thought, wow, you know, I didn't know I had cousins in Tucson. And she said, I want you to know that I am Mayo, tribe related to the Yaqui people, and I'm married to a Yaqui man, and my grandmother was named Maclovia Borbon Moroyoki, and she was the medicine woman of the Mayo village of El Jupa de Sonora, right? And I'm thinking, what the? So I said, well, that's great. And she said, you have another group of cousins across town who are Apache. I said, wait a minute, I've got Yaqui, Mayo, and Apache cousins? And I'm thinking, but I look Irish. She said, yes. And she said, I have a message for you. Here to me is the quintessential Tucson moment. She says, in heaven, before you and I were born, we were identical twins. And God chose, as a test, to separate us and send us to the different parts of the world. I, of course, am like, what? And she says, so I have searched for you for 43 years. And now I have found you. Okay, now here it comes. You'll know this part. The next sentence is, want to come to a party? Wow! So, of course, I went to the party, and you know, I did not understand that if you're going to write a book about a medicine woman, you should be around medicine women. And it was a completely transformative experience for me to enter into that world and be taken in by her and taught. And Hummingbird's daughter definitely came from being here. And I thank Tucson forever because that changed my life. But I want to say that, you know, since my beloved got a shout out, you know, some of you may not remember this, but she was a reporter at the Tucson Citizen. And we did an interview, and look what happened. It's the longest interview in history. So we were our own Tucson journalism scandal, which was nice. But you know, one of the sponsors here, Bookman's, I just want to say, you know, you guys can't know this, but when I was here, my fortunes were a lot different than they are now, and I didn't have anything. But I would go to Bookman's and buy haiku books. And when I was courting, I know, right? Haiku! Somebody applauded haiku, and now I feel good. I feel like God is in the room now. But I took Cindy to Bookman's, and I pulled out Mary Oliver's collected poems and sat her on the floor and read her poems. Again, look what happened. So thank you, Bookman's, for being there. You guys. Now, Teresita, the Saint of Cabora, my aunt, is famously a resident of Clifton, Arizona. But she lived here, and Queen of America begins in her life here. She lived right in the middle of I-19. Her house was torn down in 1966, right past Tubac. If you're going toward Arivaca, it's right there. So if you like her, say a little prayer for her as you go by, because she lived there with her father. And they would come into Tucson. They would go to the Elysian Grove Market, the original Elysian Grove Market, to do their shopping. And I got to rent part of it to live in for a little while. So I got to sleep in the place where she bought her victuals. Unbelievable. And I traced her life. You know, you may not know this because you haven't read the book yet probably, but she lived her life across the United States and ended up on East 28th Street in Manhattan. Yeah, it's a Kinko's now. But it's there, and we followed that. Now, all that work was astonishing, and my experience here was astonishing. But I was called back by another piece of magic and medicine, and that was to try to find my way into the U.S. Border Patrol to write The Devil's Highway. And I just want to say to you, if you watch my signings, you will see this phenomenon, and I really love it. The Border Patrol and I, unlikely as it may be, ended up being great friends. I think they feel like I'm their slightly brain-damaged liberal pal, but they forgive me, you know? And they taught me so much new stuff about writing. I'm very thankful to them. They've taught Devil's Highway at the Academy for a while. But what happens at the signings is that people who are undocumented often come find me. And so at the front of the line, you'll see these guys dressed in cowboy clothes, and they're sort of furtive, looking around, and then they lean over and say, Michoacan, right? And I sign their books, they walk away. But at the back of the line, there's Border Patrol guys. And they'll be in cowboy suits, and they're a little furtive too, and they'll, U.S. Border Patrol. And I always tell them, dude, you missed the wrong end of the line. But they gave me a lot of insight into writing, and I'm really thankful to them for it. So I feel like I've been shown things that I didn't expect to learn in life, and a lot of them thanks to Arizona. You know, I get the opportunity to talk all over the country now to people, and I just want to tell you, you know, I talk to every kind of political group, every belief system, every stance, every persuasion, and I found something out that I didn't know. I found out that we're still a family. I found out America still is a family. We've just forgotten how to talk to each other. We actually love each other. We actually want to love each other. So, you know, I hear all this worry about Arizona and upset, you know. Personally, I had 5 books taken in what Fitz was talking about, which was kind of interesting because I had the most books taken, so it made me kind of badass all of a sudden. I was the champion of the band all of a sudden. And I just want to say, since it's always about the silver lining, I will thank the Tucson School District for upping my book sales insanely and for upping my Facebook friends and Twitter followers by 100. Really interesting. But this is what I just want to throw out there to you. I think, you know, I worry about the kids not having an opportunity to learn. That's all I worry about. Keep my books, I don't care. I'm doing all right. But I just want the kids to get their chance to learn. And, you know, I think people are doing things. And, you know, this thing we've been given, these words, it's sacred. And it transcends all of these barriers. It transcends all of these things that separate us. And I promise you, people want to talk. They want to be together again. And for me, the whole point, what I think this place is really about, is right here tonight with us. TFOB is what it's about. All of us together, celebrating art, celebrating words, looking out for each other, and remembering we're a family. So my only message out there when I talk to people is a very simple one that I learned here, not only from the medicine people, but oddly enough, from my Border Patrol friends. Yeah, you wouldn't think a Border Patrol guy is a shaman. But one of my agents, my senior supervisory agent, started telling me about his life and his belief, and the first thing he said was, we were out on the Devil's Highway. Nobody around for 100 miles. He was the only guy with a gun, by the way. I was thinking, hope I don't make this guy mad. And he said, I know what you think of me. And I said, really? What do I think of you? He said, you think I'm a jackbooted thug. I thought, perhaps I can penetrate Mexico illegally right now to get away. He said, I'll tell you what I am. I'm your jackbooted thug in shining armor. And I looked at him and he said, you know, my daddy was a rancher. I'm a rancher. You know what I do all day? I chase ranchers around the desert. He said, in some weird way, I feel like I'm chasing my own people. I was looking at him. He said, you know, if my wife was hungry, I'd have to cross any border to feed her. I would do it. I was looking at him thinking, he's crazy because I can destroy his career. I'm writing a book, and he knows it. I call it grace. Somebody gives you their life and says, here, I'm going to trust you with this. And he did. And he went on, but the thing that moved me the most, he said, was people think we don't have any feelings. I'm a father. I've got a daughter. He said, you carry a dead 19-year-old woman through the desert for 6 miles in your arms and tell me I don't have feelings. I am starting to crack. Every alarm, born in Tijuana alarm, Chicano rider alarm, liberal alarm is saying, may not love Border Patrol, may not love Border Patrol, danger, danger, don't love. And I couldn't help it, and I turned to him and I said, Kenny, I love you, man. And the agent said, I kind of like you too, buddy. And Kenny taught me something that I've never forgotten, and I try to keep in mind, and that is, there really is no them. There's only us. And we're trying to figure out how to deal with us. We're a family. I thank you so much for being here. This festival, if you haven't been here yet, is awesome, and you're going to see something really special tomorrow. And just remember, whenever you feel bad, or you're worried, or you're angry, or people criticize us here, this is what it was all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. Pretty kumbaya for a revolutionary man. Very good. Did you love that talk? Yeah, wonderful words. Before we close out the program, I want you to look in those yellow bags. Your book bags. Because in those book bags is a form by which you can become a friend of our festival. Please consider becoming a friend of our festival. On behalf of our state, on behalf of our glorious city, on behalf of this wonderful university, and the magnificent Tucson Festival of Books, welcome, have a glorious weekend, sleep well tonight. We'll see you all in the morning.